One, and we should be live. Nerd Show and Tell. How's it going, man?
It's
Long
going
time no
good.
see.
How are you doing?
Oh, I have no complaints here. How you been surviving this whole COVID situation, man?
What's that?
What's that? No, cuz you're in like Palo Alto, Silicon Valley, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, in San Jose, California.
So like you're aware of the whole Tesla fiasco or the lack thereof.
Oh yeah,
You have an
yeah.
opinion regarding that?
Uh, I don't know. I wouldn't want to put my employees at risk, but I'm not in charge, so
Is
yeah.
it
I don't know. He's Elon's a kind of wacky dude, a, an entrepreneur, but a wacky dude.
is it Elon or is it actually just the what do I say, like the government or like the city, the county?
Oh, like telling him to stop? No, it's I don't know the whole situation around here. I mean, it's just like this everywhere. Everybody's like supposed to wear masks and this and that, but I mean, people if a lot of people they can't see something, then it doesn't exist. So I don't know. It's I get people. I think they just wanted to get back to work, and I don't know. I don't know if it was the safest option, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. Do you follow any of the SpaceX stuff at all? It's been an exciting
Oh
week.
yeah,
Like there
yeah.
was the
We were streaming it live too at the same time
oh
when we
nice.
planned, and yeah, unfortunately scrubbed, but it's supposed to be tomorrow, right? Like, so we're gonna try again tomorrow.
And I guess SN4 exploded today. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, somebody came in and said that. I never did. I forgot all about it already. So I need to look that up. Yeah. I haven't had time to look at any news or anything since I jumped from my stream at 8 and then came right in.
So you didn't see the tremendous fireball?
I did not.
Oh man. I don't know. I don't know if you have attachments to it. It's like for me, I'm watching it every day. And it's kind of like watching a child grow and a child
Yeah.
blowing up.
Well, I mean, it's better now than later, but
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, it's, I mean, it's just like looking at, it just shows you how we feel like we've come so far, but yet if you go back and look at like the original NASA rocket footage, when they were trying to develop original space rockets. And then, every time it's like, boom, this one blows up, it's trial and error, just constant. We feel like we have it all figured out, but then science slaps us back in the face and says, no, not yet.
Say space is hard, right?
Yep. More to learn.
And I think the whole like space is hard motto applies to Star Citizen as well. I didn't know you're that much of a space nerd though. That's cool. Like, so do you have like a favorite rocket or anything like that?
Uh, I just built the Saturn V for out of Lego, and that's always been one of my favorites, just
Y-
because the size and the moon and everything. It's just, and we've never done it again. For as much as so far as we've come, we built all this technology just to go to the moon, and then we never went back.
So tragic.
Yes,
And
and I get its cost, but but it should have happened a lot sooner.
I was having that argument with my brother earlier last week about the cost. He's like, oh, this is a waste of money. Well, not a waste of money, but it's like we don't want to put our money towards that. And I was like, actually, I was breaking down the NASA budget between the 60s and the 70s, and
Oh yeah,
that amount of expense over that period of time is actually I can't remember what it was exactly, but it's not as much as people
no,
think.
no, it's not. Their budget is just not as much as people think, and when you look at the budgets for everything else, yeah, it's not a big budget. Uh, but other priorities, usually it's military spending or something else gets spended. But it was when we were in a space race, it was the top priority, and then after that, after the space race, then it wasn't a top priority anymore, and that's unfortunate. So now with what China's doing and everything, now it might become a priority again. So, and plus the commercialization of it and making it that always need that I think that's also part of it is the commercialization of it should have happened a lot sooner. You know, it should have. I guess it's also a thing of the costs were a lot more expensive back then, and the big governments were the only ones that could do it. But now there is a there is money to be made in space, so that's why it's in everybody's crosshairs now. So, and it's happening at a more rapid pace.
I don't know who's gonna do it first. I don't know if it's gonna be SpaceX. I don't know if China's gonna get to Mars before the United States, and I don't
Yeah,
know if Amazon is gonna end up owning the moon.
yeah, yeah. Nobody knows. SpaceX gets all the big publicity, and you know, was it Blue Origin? Is that Amazon? And it's like,
Yeah,
you constantly hear about SpaceX, but you don't hear about them as much. But
I
yeah,
know.
you never know.
Actually, last
Um,
time I went to Arab 6 launch, the Falcon
Mhm.
Heavy, and I don't know. I went to go see where Blue Origin is at, and it's a massive building. Whatever they
Yeah,
got going on there, man, it's something big.
they're doing something.
Doing something so quietly too.
Yeah, I love the big rockets. I think you know we should have had a moon base a long time ago. I think that's the first shot, and I don't know. I love space and geeking out about it. I love pretending I fly in space every day.
Too. The one thing I love about the Saturn V, if I could just go on about that a little bit more, is I love the fact that it was a liquid oxygen kerosene rocket, which is
Yeah,
same as Falcon 9, same as Falcon Heavy. So it's just old technology, those big F1 engines on them. Okay.
yeah. It's just if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Kind of thing. And but what's amazing to me is that they lost. Like they had to really search for when they're looking back. Like Blue Origin, I think did a. They were researching those engines from the Saturn V, and like they couldn't even find the blueprints at one point. I don't know the whole story behind it, but they were having a hard time. There was no records of like half the technology that was used on these rockets and in the capsules and everything is like lost.
Not
And
tragic.
yeah, it's so tragic. And now I don't know. I think the coolest thing when we were watching it the other day was seeing the touchscreens now and the suits and
Yes.
everything. It's like it finally looks futuristic. It finally looks like what you think space travel is supposed to be. And it finally feels like we're taking a step forward. And that's what I feel is it feels like we're moving forward again.
I have to ask, did you do a stream of flying the DM2 capsule to the ISS?
I uh
Did you
I
see
don't
that
remember.
app that they have?
No.
Okay,
No, I've
sorry.
never done it. No, I didn't.
I'll have to send you that link. Remind me after. But
Okay.
Scotty Manley, he did a video on it as well of like
Oh,
doing a
okay.
speed run of the simulator of DM2 docking with the ISS. Do you play Kerbal? Have you ever played Kerbal
I've
before?
never played Kerbal. No.
Okay, it's
Everybody keeps
basically.
telling me I should,
Oh
and I've
yeah.
never got around to it.
Hey, if you know like if your favorite rocket's a Saturn V, I think you should definitely get into Kerbal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to say it's the future of gaming. I don't know.
I did like, I got all the VR stuff and there was a really cool the uh the moon launch and landing in VR where they just reenact it really. And that was one of the coolest VR experiences. I every time I have like family or friends over, and I'm going to show them the VR stuff. That's like one of the first things I do is throw them in that. And it's like literally you're sitting in the rocket and you're sitting there in the seat next to everybody and you look over left and right and you look down and it looks like you're in the suit and looking out the window and it's one of the coolest VR experiences all the way to landing on the moon.
They made a really good one of those of Mercury Redstone. Al Shepard, I think. Did you play that one? Did you try that one?
I don't think so. Nope.
Okay. Are you still big into VR? Is VR still your jam?
I love it, but I haven't because of Star Citizen and everything. I don't have a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort and work to switch over from doing like Star Citizen to VR. So it's like I have to dedicate like an entire day to doing it, and usually I don't want to do it for just one day. so so I'd have to dedicate like several days, and I've just been so busy with Star Citizen and everything that I haven't gotten back to it because I do a lot of like flight sim stuff. DCS World. I love playing DCS World in VR, but Star Citizen's been occupying all my time.
What do you think as a streamer? Do you think VR is a good thing as a streamer? I've heard some people complain about that before.
I stream. That's how I got my start streaming VR. I did Elite Dangerous, and then I did DCS World. The It's really good if you have it set up right. Like I could see the chat inside. You know, you could push. I could place the chat anywhere in the VR environment that I wanted. So I would like look over the chat. As long as you're engaging with chat, it's a great thing. Uh, it was really good, easier to do on the Oculus than it has been with other stuff. But I I don't know. I think it's all about the experience too. Like a lot of people, you have to be you have to get good at doing it. One of the other things is you have to be conscious about your head movements, because if you're constantly like bobbing your head around, the stream is like gonna throw up. You know, the
Yeah,
stream like feels like they're bouncing around, and
that's what people tell
people
me.
get annoyed with that. Yeah. So you have to be really conscious of it and like do, you moves, smoother movements and everything. And sometimes you'll forget, but it really depends on the game. Like space sims were easier. Flight sims are kind of easier because unless you're, constantly like looking for stuff, it's when you can just look straight ahead and then, casually look over and stuff. Then that's good. But uh, I don't know. It's It would be interesting to try it. I've done it recently, and or not too recently, but like within the last 6 months or so. And it was an adjustment to go back and do it in VR, do VR stuff, but I think it's good. And there does need to be some better streaming technology for it, and I think we'll get there eventually once it's more mainstream. Right now VR is it requires a lot of power, a lot of tech, and it's constantly improving. So, you buy a headset this year, next year it's going to be out of date. Um, but eventually it'll get like everything else, and everybody will be used to it.
I like your perspective actually on that. In that it's more about a skill. It's like the streamer needs to get good with
Yeah,
delivering
yeah,
the VR experience.
yeah, and it's just yeah, it's just like anything else, just like keeping up with chat, or doing anything else. You just got to be conscious of your movements, and yeah, just get good at it.
Do you think that we'll start seeing some technology from Twitch incorporating VR?
Once it gets everything will get there once it's more mainstream. It's got to get mainstream. There's got to be, I haven't played it yet, but what was it? The new uh the new game from Valve.
Alex?
Yeah, Alex. I haven't played it yet, but I hear it's amazing. And it's going to take like a few of those to make it mainstream. It's going to have to things are going to have to be easier and cordless. There's going to have to be some really good, you know, games to make it happen. Just like anything else. Just like, for example, I always use the example of what Wing Commander did for PC gaming for me, for example. The kind of game that makes you see it and then immediately want to go back out and like build a PC or buy a PC. That's the kind of that's the kind of thing that's going to have to happen. And who knows, maybe something like Star Citizen can be that, if it's done right, or
Yeah,
some other, triple A type experience. But it's going to, the prices are going to have to get cheaper, and it's going to have to be something that people want to go get because something is so awesome that they have to have it. And I think that latest game is a that latest game I know sold headsets, and that's what it's all about. If you have the Sometimes it takes a while for the software to catch up with the hardware, and or the idea. So we'll get there.
I guess that's like Final Fantasy. You buy the
Alex
software
said.
to get a console for the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean it's exclusives, and those things sell consoles, and those things sell hardware. Those sell computer hardware. So that's the kind of thing that drives everything. A good game. And Star Citizen, I think, can be a game like that, for example.
It's gonna bring back PC Master Race.
Well, I don't know, maybe, unless they make it for the console too.
Yeah, I hope they do, and I hope that's not an impossible ask either.
If it is, it needs to be. I don't mind it if as long as it's cross-platform.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing. Everything's got to be cross-platform because that is the key to, you know, if it gets more people in the game, great. As long as it doesn't, as long as it doesn't hold back. That's the only thing that's happened in the past, and that's while the PC gamer in me gets a little ticked off is, we could have. There's been times in the past where we could have some really kick-ass PC games, but because they had to be made for console too, they were limited in scale and scope. So I hope that doesn't happen. Obviously, that's why I'm behind Star Citizen because first and foremost, they're breaking ground. They're doing new and innovative things with the PC. That's first. So maybe consoles will catch up.
Well, I tried the PlayStation VR about a month ago for the first time ever. After already doing like Oculus and Vive and that, it's
Yeah.
pretty good, but like always it's always about the controls, the mobility is the big impetus.
Yeah, I've never tried PlayStation VR yet. Uh, I guess there's certain kinds of VR things. Like if you're talking about like Beat Saber, those kinds of VR games are like, okay, it kind of reminds me of like mobile apps, right? Where the graphics isn't as intense as like you're used to on like a PC. They're more just 3D or, in the whole VR movement environment type situation. Uh those that was actually one of my turnoffs of VR because a lot of things are being geared, but that's not a thing for PC gaming, for example. It's really just because the PC hardware needs to get better, that we have to have better GPUs to be able to do what we're used to doing on a monitor in PC gaming. We need you need like, 5 times that much power to do it in a VR environment. So I think eventually we'll get to where we're used to those kinds of graphics, those kinds of environments, but it's going to take some while to get there. And yeah, the PlayStation VR stuff when I and like mobile VR, when people talk about VR and they reference those things, I'm like, well, that's not. I'm talking like DCS World VR, where you're in a cockpit and it looks like everywhere you move around, it's like realistic environments. You're flipping switches, and that to me is real VR versus like something like a 3D, just like 3D blocks, a 3D block environment.
Well, I think that Minecraft is maybe the best VR game out there right now.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean that seriously, just because
yeah,
it's so like anybody can pick it up and
yep,
I question how many people get motion sick in that compared to like DCS.
yeah. Well, you can. It's definitely. Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff is definitely gonna be that gets people in the door,
Yeah.
and that's good, but I'm like, I want DCS World, and I want the latest. I can't wait to get the next NVIDIA card that comes out because I wanna see how far I can push DCS in VR. So,
Did you hear about HP's new VR system? Do you like
yeah.
still stay up to date with all this stuff?
Yeah, I follow a bunch of stuff once in a while. I did see a couple pictures came across my desk, and, I saw a couple articles, and, yeah, I'm all for it.
You're all for it. Yeah. You're basically waiting up for the technology to mature a bit. How far away are we before you embrace VR back in your stream again?
Oh, it's gotta have like I said, it's gotta be DCS World, I'd do it. I can do DCS World in VR anytime, but, for always doing it now, I don't know, it'd have to be it's a different audience. Like, I love DCS World, but the audience isn't nearly as it's not as big as Star Citizen, for example. So, it's just not, and I'm constantly looking to grow the stream, so the audience just isn't there yet. It would have to be a game that brings in, brings in people, you know, a bigger audience. And something like that is, it would have to be flight sims, Star Citizen, I don't know, maybe a first person shooter of some kind. I don't know. It's the game's not there yet. Whatever game it is, it doesn't exist yet in VR. So it's and yeah, it would. I don't know. It'd have to be a good game.
I grew up with flight sims. I don't know if I told you that before or not, but like 95.
Yeah,
It was the last one they had for DOS before Windows 95 came out. Before that, that was the first MS flight sim, and I actually ended up getting my pilot's license because I got into flight sims so much. So
nice.
yeah, it was wild. It was so easy. I hate to gloat, but like my brother, he got his pilot's license too, but he never did flight sim, and it took him about 3 times longer to get its pilot's license.
I
And
bet.
it's just
I can. Funny story about flight sim. I had my first Flight sim was Apple II on the Apple II PC. Apple IIc actually. It was Apple IIc, Apple II PC, Apple IIc computer. I can remember playing the first flight sim. Microsoft Flight Simulator. I can remember taking the manuals. That had all the manuals that came with the game and just reading them from front to back and just trying to learn every single possible thing. All the different uh, approaches and tactics and everything from the navigation to the all how the flaps work. How everything works. And I can remember just loving that. That was my first experience with a flight sim, and I've been into them ever since. So,
that's wild. How did your like video game like what's your video game resume? Like what'd you start with? Would you
oh, Apple. Let's see, it would have been Apple IIc was my first home PC. Before that, I can remember my dad bringing home Pong for the first time
wow.
and hooking that up to the kitchen TV. I can still remember to this day, hooking it up to the kitchen TV and playing with my brother and not really grasping. I remember, this is cool and enjoying it and never wanting to stop. But then uh, after that, it was in television. My parents got our first real console. I don't know if my dad just brought that home. I don't remember what the whole story was with the Pong though, because we didn't have it for that long. And then I think he might have borrowed it from somebody because I remember playing it. And then the next thing I remember is playing in television, which was like the competitor to Atari at the time. But more, I always laugh because it was more like educational. It had like a number pad on it and a disc controller. And then I remember playing, having math games on it. It did have some like baseball. We were talking about it on stream the other day. Had baseball, advanced Dungeons and Dragons, car racing game, and those were like the top ones. But I can remember like learning math on that thing. And then, but I always then after that we had like an Apple IIc. That was my first like real. That's when I really got into computers. I was doing a lot of the whole reason we ended up with a. My parents finally went out and got a computer. Uh, it was in when I was in fourth grade. Mm, the teacher called up my mom and said, uh, and told her that I was rushing through my schoolwork. Like during school, during class, you'd have they give you assignments and you have to sit there and do them in class. I was rushing through my schoolwork, just doing half-ass job, just blowing through it, just so I could get over to the computer and start writing programs. I was writing basic programs, and so it was at that point, my parents said, "Okay, well, maybe we should get him get a home computer," and that's when they got the Apple IIc, and I started doing a lot of programming, basic programs on that, and gaming on that, and yeah, the rest after that, it went from there. I got into the only consoles I ever owned for a while were Nintendo, but I always go through console phases. I was always a PC gamer. My first PC, I went out and built or went and got my first PC, or we got our first PC after I saw Wing Commander 2 in the store for the first time in a computer store. I played it complete with the voice packs and everything. and that's when I I s- I had to have a PC and had to have that and go from there. I'd already been working with PCs at school and everything, and through other friends and everything, but I didn't have my own, and but once we got our own PC, then it was crazy. It was downhill from there. I've been building PCs ever since.
That's 1991, by the way, Wing Commander 2, just
Wing
for
Commander 2, that was
reference.
91. Yep. So that would have been my first 386-33 would have been the 386 processor would have been my first PC. 386-33 was the first PC I had. Before that, I still had the Apple II, and before that, I had the Apple II, and then I did a lot of PC work at schools and friends, but didn't have my own PC until the 386 with the turbo button. Yep, exactly.
Thing made it go faster.
Yeah,
Can confirm.
nobody ever, you always had the turbo button on. Never want to take that off.
Yeah, like who would turn that off in their right
Right.
mind? I would like my computer to go slower, please.
Yeah, I think maybe it was for like old DOS programs that were just well, everything was DOS then, but old programs that ran too fast. You know, like uh, like the old text-based Star Trek game where was coordinates based. I remember that one.
I used to play Trade Wars. Have you played Trade Wars
Oh yeah,
before?
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking on bulletin boards? Or are you
Yeah,
talking like?
BBS.
Yep. Yeah, I used to run a bulletin board. I had
Oh,
a
you
20
ran
line.
one.
Yep, I had a 20-line bulletin board. It would have been in the 90s. In King's Quest.
King's Quest, I saw that.
Oh, yeah. Nice. And then the yeah, I had a 20-line bulletin board out of my parents' house, and that was when I was 14, maybe that I was running and charging people monthly fee. Actually, I was charging by the hour for a while, and then I turned it into by the month, like $10 a month, unlimited. And Trade Wars, I didn't have Trade Wars. I was using a MBBS at the time, which was Galactic Empire, Major Mud, a whole bunch of those types of games. But yeah, I played Trade Wars too through other. I knew a lot of other bulletin board operators and stuff. So I was always the young one at the table.
Have you heard of Mule before? Mule? Mule?
I don't think so.
Okay. Supposed to be one of the first MMOs in I think it was the late 80s or something like that, early 90s, but I was just hoping.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it was just Major Mud. I was never into the games I operated on my bulletin board system were the Major Mud, which is like the dungeon type games, and man, people lived and breathed that thing, and then they had scripts that would automatically like grind the dungeons and make them current, whatever they needed, make them stuff and loot overnight. And I was into the other game was Galactic Empire was my game, and that was like a space uh colonization game, and nobody's ever made I to this day there was a time when I was actually considering making a mobile game version of this type of game where because it was so cool and I've never seen it in any game since where you had your ship, say it was like Star Citizen, you have your ship, you're flying around, but then you fly into a sector and there'd be these planets in the sector, and they would either be claimed, unclaimed, or that somebody would own them, and it would be a player that owned them. And these planets would actually have, there were types of class of planets. So like it would have a very good environment and very good resources, or it would have poor environment and good resource. So there's always different types of planets. And so you get to a planet, and if it had like, we'd always call them, if you find VG, which was like very good, like top of the line planet, and you can colonize it, and then you could have it build resources, and then that planet you could train it to, colonize, make troops or make torpedoes or make resources to use with your fleets. And so there's never been that kind of like territorial control. And then the other side of it was like if you would log off, another player could be in there and they could try to attack your planet and take it over. So you'd have to have planetary defenses to protect it while you weren't around. And like when somebody would attack your planet, you could get a, you would be text, like on the, if you were on the online, you would get text on the bulletin board system. You get text and say somebody's attacking your planet, and you'd have to go in and you could try to defend it. Otherwise, it would happen overnight. You could come in the next day and you get like, you'd log in and you'd see emails of people have attacked your planet or they've taken it over, and then you could try to take it back. I love that kind of gameplay, and I wish something out there would have that type of territorial control like that, and both be space based too. So
The
I,
fidelity.
yeah, fidelity. Yeah, and I don't know. Star Citizen is an awesome thing, and I hope, it'd be interesting to see if we ever get like bases and stuff like that. So
Soon, they say.
yeah, soon to you.
I keep hearing soon. So what I heard that you're in your story that you're getting to basic a little bit. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
I used
yeah,
to do touring. I guess it's kind of comparable to basic.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went
Uh,
from basic to my first uh, school language that I learned in school would have been Pascal. In high school, I was taking college courses for Pascal and other computer classes and stuff, but mostly Pascal was so annoying. Yes. Uh, so I did Pascal, and then I did college credit for C and C or C and C plus plus. I think it was.
so you were building business automation tools?
Oh yeah, just that was. I, it was so boring, that programming, that type of programming where
Yeah.
we're gonna make an accounting program. We're gonna balance a ledger. It's like, no. Let's make some cool stuff. Come on. I want to, give me the tools and then let me make something, instead of you need to make this specific thing. Always school is never my thing in the sense of the way it was, you're always okay, you have to memorize this, do this, and then you make this. And they always just lay it out for you. That's why I always loved having my own businesses and stuff, because I could take on projects that I would use to learn new things, and or put things I knew together to make something new. That's why it was more creative. I've always liked the creative side of business, of making projects and having projects and doing it that way.
And this is all in the San Jose area?
No, I'm actually from the Midwest originally. I was from I'm from originally I was in Iowa, Council Bluffs, Iowa, until I was till college, and then I ended up going to University of Nebraska in Lincoln, in Nebraska. And I lived in Nebraska until about, I don't know, what, 8 years ago? No, not 8 years. 7 years, 6 years, something like that. I don't know. I've been in California ever since for like the last 6 years, at least. I've lost track.
I never realized that before. So how do you like California then?
I love California. I'm never going back. Yeah, I love it here, and the weather. I hate winter, and
Me too,
I'm not
man.
going
As
back.
a Canadian, I say that.
Yeah, I hate I hate winter without purpose. So I love snow skiing. I love the snow and activities to do with the snow, like snow skiing and that kind of stuff. But I hate cold, rainy weather or icy, just like gray, dark. I need the sun. I need and so I'm in the perfect spot. My wife's the same way. We're both from the Midwest. She's from Nebraska too, and we moved here, and yeah, we need the sun. I always joke she's solar power. She always jokes that she's solar powered, and I believe it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
spent almost a month in Manchester, didn't you, for CitizenCon?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
That was cold.
that was cold, hey? Man,
Yeah.
that cold got you so deep, I felt.
Yeah. Yeah, the, standing in line to get into CitizenCon, which, was a very long time. Yeah, and it was very cold, and, yeah, we made a trip out of it. We ended up, London, Manchester, then Edinburgh, and then back to London, and then finally home.
Well, it's cool to meet you, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you were there.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we were there, and, that was a blast. Yeah, and, I was looking forward to this year too, and then, well, not this year.
No. Does that affect you at all? Like as a streamer, like cuz some streamers don't even want to go to CitizenCon.
Yeah,
So
actually, it's kind of I'm sad because I can I'm sad because of the people, I won't be able to see, all the good friends I've made along, you guys and all the good friends that I've made and that I love seeing it like Citizen Cons and Twitch Cons. The other side of it is this will be the first time I get a stream through that period. I'm always usually traveling, usually TwitchCon and CitizenCon are back to back. So you go to like say I think it's like last year, I think it was TwitchCon. I can't remember which was first. Yeah, it was TwitchCon first. Yeah, so it was TwitchCon and so you go to TwitchCon and then you come back and you have like a week or so or maybe a few weeks, but you get going to TwitchCon, you end up getting out of all kinds of rhythms. You get out of your sleep rhythm, you get out of, your streaming momentum, everything happens and then you come back and you're trying to get back in it. And then there's a little bit of you looking at your schedule going, well, I'm going to be gone again for another 2 or 3 weeks, So then you're just like, your schedule's still like, meh, not that great. And then you go to like, I went to CitizenCon. Then you come back and I'm trying to catch I had other projects, projects you want to get done before you get back to streaming again. And yeah, it's a huge so I've been doing that the last 2 years. I'd always be going to TwitchCon, CitizenCon, and then, come back after and there were times there I redid my studio 1 year after those 2 things. So that was a 2-month period where I was off redoing my studio. Last year I went on vacation, came back, and I still had some things I had to do, and then so it was a little bit of delay there. So you get out of that momentum, and then you come back, and it's like starting all over again. You know, building up that momentum and getting back in, into streaming. This year, I'm excited. I wasn't excited that they got canceled, but I'm excited because this is the first time I'm going to be able to stream completely through those periods of time and keep the momentum going and not stop. So I'm very excited about that.
I was so surprised to hear that they don't want to do a virtual event as well. I thought that would be an easy win for them.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it would still take a lot of work. A part of me thinks that, I thought and I think this year was going to be huge in the sense that they were going to be bumping up Squadron 42 and this was going to be they were going to do a big PR push. I thought they were going to start it last year. They didn't. So this year in LA, I thought that's going to be their big PR push for Squadron 42. They're going to have the beta coming out, all that stuff. I think and then now that they don't wanna do something big like that, I could see that that might be the reason why is they don't want a virtual push to be their debuting of Squadron 42. They still wanna do it, you know, the original way they had planned.
Wait, so
So
you think that they're going to stick for Squadron 42 for this year?
no,
Okay.
no, no. No, not after all this. No, I don't think so. No, not at all. No. No, and that's what I'm saying is they're not going to do that. So they're not gonna be doing a big PR push. So,
Oh, I see.
so they're just gonna kick back, not kick back, but I think they'll probably have another event like this is like going on right now, the Fleet Week. It'll
Yeah.
probably be something like, just like before that kind of stuff. Maybe, maybe some other little, video stuff going on, but nothing. It's not gonna be like they couldn't it still takes a lot of coordination even virtually to put all these, like all their presentations and stuff. Those things would still require people to be working together and get a lot done, and that's really hard to do virtually, you
D-
know, put it all together.
Do you still get excited by these ship sales? Like if you this November, are you still like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, like this sale, I get more excited because I'm more excited because I do a lot of giveaways. I like to I stock up during these sales. So I try to go after the stuff that's usually not for sale all the time, the stuff that they only put on sale during these anniversary sales and these types of events. So I get excited for that now because most of my fleets, I'm fine with most of my fleet. And I have most of the ships I want. I do look for ones if I'm gonna buy a ship, it's gonna be one that I don't have, and that I usually am at the point right now where I'll try to buy only ones that I know are gonna I try to buy them in priority, like, I think that I kinda guess, like, I think that ship would be in the game before that one, so I'll buy that one, you know? And, I get more excited because of the stream stuff, and I can buy stuff for the stream and than I do for myself now.
Yeah, because I must imagine your stream popularity must come and go with the ship sales as well, right?
Uh, well, the events, the, uh the stream stuff, the events and stuff always bring in like, these free fly events always bring in new people.
Yeah.
That's the best because you got people coming in asking for questions and stuff, and, yeah, consistent yeah, it's very actually, in the last since CitizenCon this last year, the game popularity has been increasing, and it's very I've noticed it increasing in my stats and just by new people coming in, and that's kind of exciting, is more people are starting to take notice of Star Citizen, so you're getting a lot of new people in, and, there are low points, but I don't know, it's things have been growing pretty good, so, yeah, but the sales bring in new people, and people are always like, "Oh, I wanna know when's the next free fly event?" So,
Yeah, I'm so surprised that like of the amount of time that they've been doing this for, it's still consistently, like you said, consistently popular. You know, it's
yeah,
still everything still works. I can't really explain. I follow the spreadsheets on the growth, and I'm so surprised at the delta. I would say for their growth, like how it's. I mean, it's so the servers aren't even running all that well right now. How are they achieving this growth? It's amazing.
and that's it, is it's hang on a second, there's alright. Ow. So that's the thing is, like, it keeps growing, like, they had record sales, right? I haven't been paying attention to their sales numbers, but somebody said something like they've made the most money, like, ever during this sale or something like that, and, it just keeps growing, and even with the bugs and everything, that's the power, that's we've all know it. If we play Star Citizen, we know it. That's the power of Star Citizen, is the potential of Star Citizen is so powerful to a lot of us that even with all the bugs and everything, we just keep coming back. It's just like just for those glimpses of what's possible and what's gonna be possible is why most of us play. And every day every day streaming every day, I catch there are those times when every day at least once I'll catch that glimpse of that potential, and that's what keeps me coming back.
I had Marcus Mover on a few weeks ago, and he used the word spaceship addiction,
Yeah.
actually, for better or for
Yeah.
worse.
And I don't even know if it's spaceship addiction. It's just
Space addiction.
space living addiction. Yeah. I mean, because obviously, I mean, like I played Elite Dangerous before, but and that's spaceship addiction. Elite Dangerous was spaceship addiction. Star Citizen to me is space living addiction. It's like the first time I can still remember the first time getting into Star Citizen and getting in my ship, walking up to my ship, opening the ship, getting in the ship, starting it up, and taking off. I can still remember that, like, and then going someplace or going out into space and spacewalking, EVAing across from my ship to another friend's ship. That I was sold from that point on. That was like the coolest thing ever, and it still is.
Yep.
And then it just keeps getting better. You got more places to explore, more people. Now we finally have seen the the scale of the Idris and the javelin in the game, and it's like, what's you know, you see the potential.
Because you're such a notorious pirate, did you sink any Idrises or javelins?
Yeah, we just we did one today again. We did we slammed the javelin we took the javelin out and we knocked it down to Microtech and had it on the ground.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we slammed it down. We had it on the ground, and then we proceeded to probe it for its secrets. We continued like we had I it bugged out that it usually is, it'll despawn. It's supposed to go away after like 30 minutes or whatever. It bugged out. It was there for like an hour and a half. So we had like an hour and a half of time with it. To, so everybody was grabbing prospectors and just like going over every inch of it with the lasers, trying to figure out if we could damage it in any possible way. Everybody peeled the guns off of it. There was just guns laying all the turrets were laying on the ground around it. And, yeah, we made it ours, yeah. It's just turrets scattered across the ground everywhere. And, I finally, I was recording it all, and then I decided, "Okay, I'll land and, walk around underneath it," because it had landed upside down on top of trees, and of course, right now, the trees don't collapse or anything, so it's just, like, up on stilts. So I'm walking underneath it on the ground in the snow, and starting to freeze because I don't have a proper uniform on or whatever, and looking up at it, and it's just this massive ship above me, and, you're just walking around, and it's just the scale of it was amazing. Then one of the biggest turrets, they had the big turrets on it. We had knocked off the guns, and the guns were laying on the ground, so I walked up to the gun and just standing next to him and just seeing the scale of my little, you know, avatar, my little character next to one of those guns on the ground. It was just like it was really cool to see, and, it was at night too, so we have a bunch of screenshots and, video of it. It looks amazing, and it looks like a salvage operations going on in the middle of the night. It was really cool.
You ever think, like, when you're doing these shenanigans, like, what the people at CIG must be thinking? Like, they're watching it. I just imagine CR's there's this huge big screen TV, and he's just got your stream up, and you're just watching this chaos unfold.
Yeah, there's times we joke about that because it's like, you know, things get fixed that, we have been using and doing, and then all of a sudden things get fixed. Like all of a sudden, yeah, the fleet's gonna fight back. You're like, this was after the latest patch too, when they said the fleet's gonna fight back. The fleet's preparing to fight back, and they released the new patch where they patched the holes in they patched it so you couldn't blow up the Idris and the Javelin. They're invincible. Well, okay, well they can be invincible. That doesn't mean we can't just knock them down and strip them of parts off on the planet. So they got to be like, oh, they have this beautiful event with fireworks
Yes, yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
and show and like music
The
playing,
music changes.
and then here comes an 890 jump just ramming into it at full speed, sending it down to the planet. I mean, you got to think of it from a perspective too, is uh is that a new player coming in and like, could you imagine a new player being on the same server and seeing, the fireworks going off and this big, huge, like everybody's watching this amazing, huge ship come into the dock, and then out of nowhere, here comes a 890 jump and just rams into it, and everybody starts ramming this thing down to a planet. Like, what the hell? Yeah, we made this beautiful thing for you. Okay, we're gonna blow it up.
Well,
Yeah,
there's a great documentary kicking around on YouTube about Richard Garriott and when they built Ultima Online, and how like they created this beautiful like nature. And have you seen this documentary before? Have you
I
heard
have
of this?
not. No.
They make this beautiful Ultima Online was like the first MMO, and they created this whole biome around how the creatures get created. They eat the leaves, and there's a circle of life or whatever. But anyways, the players went on there and just ransacked the whole thing. So that's what players do, right? They just destroy stuff, blow it up.
Well, I mean, it's a game. I mean, what do you want to do first? Well, we're gonna blow it up.
Yep.
I mean, we'll figure out everything else after that, but we're gonna blow it up first because I want to see the. I mean, the whole thing was first you want to see the explosion, right? And then, I mean, who doesn't want to see, the Idris or the javelin explode?
They have beautiful explosions
They
too.
do,
Yeah.
they do. I haven't seen a javelin explode yet. I don't know if that's in the game or has been seen. The Idris was seen. There was a VFX reel that leaked, I think, a long time ago. And that is the explosion of the Idris. There was a VFX reel that leaked out there a long time ago. and I that is what's in the game now. I mean, you that's what people were seeing when they blew it up recently. And, I've never seen a javelin, and I don't know if it's in the game yet. I'm sure they're keeping that one under wraps, but I can't wait to see it. It's
Yeah.
gotta be awesome.
Where are you posting the stuff at? I want to check this. Like, is it just on Twitch or are you posting this on Twitter, YouTube as well?
Twitter? Yeah, we Twitter. We replied to, Xylo had a post of post your favorite screenshots recently. Yesterday, I think it was. Post your favorite screenshots of the Fleet Week. And everybody's posting pictures of the fireworks and everything, and we posted the salvage operation the savage salvage operation. We posted pictures of that. That was
That's
on Twitter.
wild. That is so cool, man.
Yeah.
What do I say? Do I say congratulations? Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. We got the here, I'll post it in the chat if it lets me.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Penguins is here. Penguins, hook a brother up. And I feel so bad now because like before the stream, you were like, oh hey, how's your free flight going? And I'm like, oh, it's no fun because trades broke it. And you're doing these shenanigans, man. I'm playing the wrong game.
Well, I mean, this is the thing though. It's taken a lot of work to do it, because of the server issues. Like we joke around every day, every time the store updates, it's like within it's been within minutes, it's been crashing. The database crashes and you start getting the 1600 errors or things start not working. And then the other side of it was uh, it was yesterday, the store updated and then it didn't crash. And we're like, yes, it didn't crash. So we started forming our teams because we wanted to take the Idris down yesterday to Hurston, get it onto Hurston. And then about an hour, we just got the teams made, and about an hour in, it started crashing. So we had to scrub that. So it's just a matter of finding the perfect timing to coordinate the teams and get it to work when the server's not crashing. And so it's been one of those balancing issues. Like today, we got the Idris down to Hurston. We had about I don't know, maybe a half hour with it, maybe 15 minutes with it, 15 minutes or a half hour with it. And then, I was bringing in a reclaimer. I wanted to see the reclaimer next to it sitting on the ground. I wanted, to stage it looking like we were salvaging it. And we 30K'd. And
Ah, gee, I can't imagine why.
yeah, yeah. So we 30K'd. And then right after that, so we decide, okay, we're going to try again, but we're going to get the jab down to Hurston this time and do it again. And we started getting it. We did the same thing. We got the javelin out of the dock by ramming it, and then we were ramming it towards Hurston, and we were doing really good too. It was really going a long way. We were almost there, and then we started running out of ships, and people were going back to spawn their ships again. And the terminal comes up, and it does the whole checking thing, and everything's stuck on checking, so you couldn't get any ships out. And that's when we first noticed the server started dying. And then
Right.
it just slowly everything just started falling apart from there on. And then basically that was like 2.5 hours of not even being able to get in the game after that. Like everything just started falling apart.
Now everybody wants to push a javelin down to the surface of Microtech.
Yep. Microtech, actually, we're trying to get it on Hurston because you don't have the trees on Hurston is my thing to have it and get it in the way so you can get it right flat on the ground. And that's why I've been trying to get it to Hurston. And plus there's no snowstorms.
Yeah, that's true.
And I know Captain Richard tried to do it the other night. I think they went after a javelin and they got it down on ArcCorp. But ArcCorp, I steered away from it because I figured this was what happened, and this is exactly what happened. They got it to ArcCorp, it hit the surface, but it went through the surface because ArcCorp's surface is like a layer of like blocks of city, right? Because it's supposed to
Yeah.
be all one big city planet.
Yep.
So like the top layer is all just like city blocks, building blocks of a city, and it just basically clipped right through that, and then probably hit the solid surface or whatever underneath that they have, and it disappeared when they did it. So it was gone. So Hurston is definitely the best the best option. Maybe maybe tomorrow we'll do it. We'll get it,
Well, I
but
wish you
probably
the
not
best
because
of luck.
tomorrow's Drake Day, so
Oh yeah, that's true.
it's probably gonna crash after the store opens, and then
Well, I'll be paying attention in the background. I'll be lurking, and if I see an opportunity to jump in, I'll certainly try because I would love to participate in a shenanigan like that.
awesome. Yep,
Yeah.
everybody's welcome. Just come
I
on, chat, add me as a friend, and join in.
bring the 890. Is that okay? What
Yes,
would you think?
please. More
Yeah.
890s is better. I've had to. That's the thing is I keep having to. I can only get three out because you got to claim one. Somebody takes it out, you claim it again, and I think three is the limit. The hammerheads fall apart, unfortunately.
That's
Like,
so surprising to hear.
isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
you think with the name like Hammerhead, it's gonna, it's gonna do the job, but yeah, it's actually those things fall apart. They don't hit it as hard. They don't move it as far. Move them as far, and then they fall. They blow up easier.
Dude, I love your attitude regarding this. Like you sound like a connoisseur of these things. Seriously.
Oh,
What do you call this activity, by the way? Is this like pushing ships or something?
what did I call it? Jeez, I can't remember. I had a name for it the other day. I couldn't remember what I was calling it now. Uh, yeah, I don't know. We're just ramming ships, man. We're
Just
just
just yeah,
ship
ship
wrestling.
ramming.
That's right. It was
Well,
ship wrestling. There was another clip. That's right. We had some serious. The first time we attempted it, we got. I think we had eight nineties and like six hammerheads. And the goal was to the original plan. This is way back when we first day we did it. The plan was to form up around as it's coming into port, form up around the javelin and use our own thrusters to push it. Just basically everybody just sandwich it and push it. But unfortunately, the thing doesn't move. You can have as many 890s as you want around that thing. It doesn't move. And yeah, like let me see something here. Let's try this. Yeah, like oh, I was trying to post again, but yeah, it's hard to say, but it's just one of these things. Like, so we had like there's a couple pictures of 890s swarming, all swarming a freaking javelin, and it looks like piranha.
that is wild. That is wild. I'm looking at the picture. That is wild. I can't imagine why the server would crash though.
Yeah, yeah. The it's funny because you just think like in space, it's just they must have something programmed in them that they just don't move. Like if you budge them, they just won't budge. But if you ram them, something with the physics gets probably screwed up, and they just if you hit them just right, they'll like it's like you're hitting a ball out of the park.
I guess that's why they're not in the game yet. Just
Yeah.
gonna repost this link here. So if I don't know if anybody else can click on that, you guys should click on that link. It's pretty wild. I might post this on YouTube too. Actually, some of this stuff that's really crazy.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, there's a bunch of clips too and stuff.
Are
But yeah,
you
that's what we've been doing.
are you like do you do just like the ship combat or do you do FPS combat as well?
I don't usually do FPS now. I like FPS. In fact, I enjoy a good FPS, just like most people. I love Call of Duty. I love Battlefield. Uh, unfortunately, I uh, I don't like FPS in Star Citizen, mostly because it's just the word that comes to mind right now is janky.
Yeah, that's true.
I've had the worst luck with FPS in Star Citizen. Like so, like the animations, I think are the worst part for me. Uh, or things happening like you go to reload a clip and the animation goes and it doesn't reload. You go to pop a med pin and the animation goes and it doesn't work. Or somebody's skipping across your screen as you're trying to shoot at it. It's just and so I kind of stayed away from it because I want to enjoy it. I don't enjoy it right now. I want to enjoy it and I want to wait until I can enjoy it, kind of thing. And it'll get there eventually.
It's true.
I Yeah, shooting is delayed. There's just so much, yeah, it's just the other thing with, FPS is the distance, the view distance. Like, I hate it when things just pop in out of nowhere. You can walk some towards somebody, they're not there. You walk another forward, and you see them plain as day, and that's especially with sniper rifles and scopes in this game, you can see farther than the people can than the characters are rendered. So that's why I've kinda stayed away from it.
Let me ask you, is this your first the Nerd Show and Tell Twitch channel? Is this your first venture into gaming? If I call this gaming?
Like, streaming or, like, gaming? What do you mean,
I
like
don't know if it's gaming or if it's streaming at this point. Like have you done work for any like game development companies like
Oh, no. No.
or have you done any like I don't know, professional gaming, like competitive gaming?
No, I never did any competitive gaming other than just, like, doing online stuff, but I never got into doing any competitive stuff, mostly because I was busy with companies and stuff like that. The way my job used to be, uh, way, way back would be I would have contracts. There were times where I'd be waiting for something, like, weeks at a time sometimes, or I would be, you know, have a contract coming up and I didn't have anything to do. So I would dive 100% into like a game at that time, whether it be Battlefield, one of the Battlefields, or any other game. I'd just dive into it, and just play it nonstop. But then my schedule would always be like, well, when the work came, then I wouldn't touch a game for like a year, you know, or off and on. I never was casual gaming. When I was in, I was all in. When I was in work, I was all in work. So it would come and go. And I've always been into games, but I've never had the opportunity to play them like every day whenever I want. And streaming kind of lets me do that now. But I'm always the kind of person that when I get into a game, it's usually a specific game, and I like to learn that game inside and out and get good at it.
Yeah, good.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Um the do you ever see yourself being competitive?
Uh, if I love the game, yeah, I would. I would in a second.
Well, like do you think that in the future there'll be competitive spaceship battles?
Uh, Esports, it would have to be some kind of the way Star Citizen. What I love about Star Citizen is the open universe part of it. We have Arena Commander, maybe something like that would be more competitive, esports like, but maybe or in a bigger scale. But I don't think Star Citizen is going to be like the big esports thing. I think it's the cool things about Star Citizen is like the open sandbox of it all. Things escalate. The organic. I've always say this on my stream is I love organic PvP, which means I go out, I blow up somebody's prospect, or I blow up, you know, their ship, whatever that is. They get mad. They call their buddies, and the next thing you know, they got three people coming back to try to get payback. I call my buddy. Next thing you know, and things just start escalating and snowballing until all of a sudden, I can't wait for the day that something like that escalates. All of a sudden, here comes the Kraken, here comes a Javelin, here comes an Idris. And then all of a sudden, everybody's just having this big, huge battle to try to, you know, either org battles or just organically, war happens, all because somebody killed somebody's prospector.
There's
Type
always a
thing.
bigger ship.
Yeah, there's always going to be a bigger ship, and it's just going to be, going evolving. I hate staged PvP. I don't like doing staged PvP where okay, you guys, we're gonna play cops and robbers. You guys be the cops, we're gonna be the robbers, and we're gonna go over here, and you're gonna go over there, and then we're gonna fight. That I would rather go play Call of Duty, something like that. Uh, that just isn't. That's not my kind of thing. I'd rather go out. I'd rather see an org battle. It doesn't have to be like you guys go over, you go over here. How about we just if org battles are cool because you could say, okay, fine, we're gonna take control of this area and we're gonna be here, we're gonna control this area, and then somebody else decides, okay, they're gonna come in and try to stop you. That's cool. That's not, you know, we're all teaming up. That's organic, and you never know. Like the sides will change. People bring in these ships. These other people decide to bring in these ships, and it just grows.
What about the Daymar Rally? Do you ever have you did you participate in the Daymar Rally this year?
No,
Oh,
no,
you didn't. I just
no.
wonder about racing. What do you think about that?
I think racing is gonna be fun. Land racing will be great. Get rid of the rocks. Give
Get
me
rid of the rocks. Yo, you
Jesus.
should see these guys racing, man. These guys know the assets and they're like, "Oh, we can collide through this one. We can't collide through
Exactly.
that one." That's phenomenal, man. And they're
It
they're
is.
doing it. You think about it, you're driving on the surface of wherever and of all the other crap you got to worry about, these guys know their rocks.
Yeah.
The
And
geologists of Star Citizen.
when I first got into Star Citizen, I don't remember what version it was, but there wasn't that many rocks. I mean, there was roads. There was actually like little roads, and I remember going to, we used to do the runs down in Levski. I almost called it Lagski, and there was like then they came up with that. I think they had the rock generator. They did something that they generated the rocks dynamically or something, and now there's just rocks everywhere. And at least your wheels don't fall off as much,
That's true.
but man, I want roads. Give me
Roads.
roads. Give me roads or dirt tracks or like dirt roads, like civilization. Like if you look at Earth from space, it looks like spider webs if you from a certain height. It looks like, or from up in the air. It looks like spider webs. It's roads, either dirt roads, anything. Even if you go even in rural areas, it's going to be I mean, I remember, I grew up in the country a little bit where there were trails through like the woods. There's always trails through the woods or there's trails through certain areas and they were made by either cows or deer or whatever. There's always roads. There's not just rocks everywhere. So, yeah. So I look forward to the day when there's actual pathways and we can use those pathways to race on.
One thing I wanted to ask you, which is kind of a stereotypical question, but what feature are you looking forward to most in Star Citizen? Is it roads?
Salvage.
Salvage. Okay, well, hey, we got lots. Oh crap! Sorry, we got lots of good information about salvage
That's
this
what I
week.
heard.
Yeah,
I didn't tune in yet, but I heard.
I could fill you in on some of it if you'd
Yeah.
like. Just,
Yeah, go ahead.
just, just the clip notes here. I have it written down. So there's four different types of salvage that they're looking at. So it's hull scraping, which is like I don't know, paint removal, just like the surface removal of whatever material it is. They're calling it maw, which is like you get the claw out and the claw like crushes it up. It's called the maw. Siphoning, which is like fuels and process gases, liquids, and
Nice.
then component acquisition. So that's
Ah,
the four
ripping.
four parts of it.
That's cool. Hole scraping sounds like punishment. Yeah, hole scraping, that sounds like, just grinding up for the raw materials, like basically the reclaimer claw, right? So you look inside the reclaimer with the grinding, so it's pulling in the hole. I like that. The one that really interests me is the components.
Hmm.
I want to be able to, I want to be able to salvage something and steal, like if they had better components, steal those off and either sell or use them on my own stuff.
Wonder if
So
that means. I wonder if the claw will be like so dexterous that you could like take the claw and rip a quantum drive out of a ship.
yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if that's what the drones will be for. Maybe drones too.
Yep, yep.
So
Yeah,
what is it?
the
Go ahead.
claw kinda sounds like, more metal, and then, like, maybe it just grinds up everything. Maybe you have to go in by hand and get the actual components, I don't know, 'cause, you can always see the components, open the doors and everything. I don't know, it'll be interesting, and how the money translates, right? So, if you grind up a whole ship, it's probably not as much you probably won't get as much as you would if you just parted it out, right? Siphoned out all the fuel, siphoned out, took out all the components, grinded up the metal. Could be all kinds of possibilities. Like a bigger crew could make more money because they're able to go in and do it, strip it bare. Whereas somebody else would, a smaller crew would just grind it up and try to get the easiest money they could with little and much work.
They did also mention that they're gonna kind of take the mining approach, or they kind of using the same techniques they use for mining. So I'm curious how this will come together because like they decided to add the what's that called? Just the equipment that falls apart. No, specialized equipment. Like there's special types of mining heads. There's a name for that. But anyways, I wonder if they'll have the same thing then for salvage. Maybe there'll be a special type of claw,
Yeah, that has to do that
consumables.
wear. Yeah. Hmm.
So before
I'm
I
excited.
leaked all this information on salvage, why did you want to get into salvage in the first place?
Uh, well, it's finally, we blow up stuff all the time. I want to be able to make money off it.
Oh, you want to be a demolitionist.
Well, I want to be maybe a pirate, maybe you know, I want to make money off the explosions that I cause. And right now it costs money. So yeah, I mean, that is a cool way to make money and support your fleets. And yeah, I just want to it's another part of the game loop. And being able to I wanna be able to board and capture other ships or defend. In the same sense, I wanna be able to defend other people trying to capture and coming in. That's when I'll be really into FPS and that kinda stuff.
They also talked about the lightning gun as well. Did you see that?
I saw a picture. I didn't see, other than that, I saw a picture.
I think calling it the lightning gun is pretty accurate though.
Zap.
What
Thor's
else?
hammer.
Yeah. Or I did see a meme on Reddit earlier of like the Emperor's hands and the lightning coming out of the Emperor's hands. So
That's about
yeah,
right.
we'll cover everything here. And there's a trading app as well coming out. Heard about that?
By them?
Yeah. Oh well, like basically an interface that'll allow players to exchange credits to one another.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw something about taxes.
Taxes 6%. 6% taxes. What's your feelings about that?
That's dumb. Seriously, why?
Because it's an alpha.
I'm doing illegal stuff, man. There's no taxes. It's money under the table. There's no tax. This is Bitcoin, man, or
We
whatever. I
should
mean,
make our own black market currency.
yeah, exactly. Ain't no taxes for pirates. It's the same reason, like, how are they the bounty missions, right? How are they tracking what everybody has a fob built into them or something? I mean, just come on. Like, I'm gonna leave my transponder on. I never understood, like, you know, they should have they there's some things that the taxes, man, that's silly.
Quite
What are
wild, but
what are they gonna do? Have different systems, have different tax rates? Like, I'm gonna go to the Texas system. They don't have taxes there. I'm gonna go set up shop in the Texas system, man. I'm big now. I'm a big Amazon org. I don't have to pay taxes.
isn't there actually like a new Austin in the lore somewhere?
Is
Or-
there?
I don't know.
Great. No taxes.
No taxes.
I'm moving. Yeah, I don't know. That's silly. Like, just that's tax. So I didn't see the whole thing, but it's a tax if you just transfer money to somebody. Is that it?
Apparently. Yep. 6%. But you know what? I don't consider myself much of a gamer per se, but like every hardcore MMO person I talk to about this, they're like, well, all games are like that. So stick it
They
to
all
the
have
man.
tax, huh?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember just transferring credits from one character to another without a problem in certain MMOs.
You ever play Star Wars Galaxies by any chance?
I did.
You did.
Yep.
And I just wanted to mention, because I was looking at some of these capital ship battles, and it's like at this point, we've kind of gotten to the point where we're almost like that was something Star Wars
Yes.
Galaxies could never do, and we did that.
Yeah. I remember I was one of the first wasn't the first, I don't think, but I was in like the top. I had to be like top 10 or to complete. So when they launched Star Wars Galaxies, what was it called? The flight sim portion of it was
Jump to light speed.
Jump to Lightspeed. I grinded that over 24 hours straight to get Ace, and was one of the first ones on the server, on the servers to get Ace. Had the outfit and everything, and I can still remember grinding that. But like that was the closest thing. Yeah, that's been the closest thing to Star Citizen, but it didn't quite get there. Jump to Lightspeed didn't quite get there because if I remember right, you would go inside your ship, but you couldn't look outside when you were walking around. It would be like a fake. It was like fake outside,
Yeah, I think you're right.
if I remember right.
Yep.
And unless you sat in the pilot seat, then you could see outside. And that was the closest thing to Star Citizen because there was the Millennium Falcon. You could get in, you could man the turrets, you could go to the cockpit, and but then you could walk around your ship while things were happening. You could, things, sparks were flying, and everything. But then you could get in, and then that was the closest thing to Star Citizen. But it was almost there. But there was times where I can remember being in like the yacht in Galaxies, where you'd look outside and it was fake. But now, that's why when I finally got that experience in Star Citizen, I was sold. When I was finally inside Port Olisar, looking out and seeing the ships fly by that were real people flying by in their ships, that was it. I was sold.
We don't ask for much, eh?
Yeah, don't ask for much.
And this was 10 years later, basically.
Yep. And yeah, the other game I played before, I kind of played. I did. It's still around. Star Trek Online. That was another one where they didn't get there. If you're walking around inside the ships, if you actually tour inside your ships, you look outside, you're not seeing what's outside your ship. So same thing with like when you land on a base or a planet or anything, you're not seeing what's flying around, and that was a missing piece. And then Star Citizen has it, and that's why that has it, and it has it in the scale of, like I always tell people, Star Citizen is the only game I can get into. I can wake up in my bed on a space station, get out of bed, walk down the stairs, go to a terminal, get my ship, go outside, go through an airlock, go outside, see my ship, walk up to my ship, get in my ship, take off with my ship, go across the system to another planet, come in from the top through the atmosphere, down to the planet, down to an outpost, land my ship, get out of my ship, walk inside the building, and still be able to see everything around me without loading screens and anything else going on. That's the dream, and that's what's awesome about Star Citizen.
Is there bar citizens in San Jose?
I think there have been. I'm always like doing something when they're going on. I haven't been keeping up, but yeah, now I'm not leaving the house. But before, pre-corona, yeah, there was stuff, but I was always out of town or doing something.
I just wonder what the Star Citizen community is like in that area.
I don't think it's as big as like a lot of other areas, but there are some things that go on. But I don't think it's as big as, I always see like huge meetups. Yeah, San Diego. Yeah, San Diego's, well, yeah, from TwitchCon, they there's definitely a bigger crowd there. Yep. And not so much here.
Let me
I know
ask
a
you.
few people, but
Let me ask you. Should I go you nerd or nerd show and tell?
yeah, that's my nerd. Should nerd show and tell. I don't care. Shane,
Because
whatever.
there's Uber nerd as well, and I'm like, well,
Yep.
both of you guys are nerds.
Yeah, everybody is. Yeah, hey, nerd. I'm like, what?
Everyone's- Um,
Yeah, we did a Star Citizen Live. Like I think it was the first episode when they renamed it Star Citizen Live, and Uber Nerd, myself, and Detox, and Disco were all together doing a mission. And at the beginning, like, who do we call nerd? Like, I don't,
how did you like that whole experience, by the way?
that was fun. It was a good
Yeah.
time. Yeah. Yep, good time. And you know, just fun. I mean, we deal with it every day. It's fun. You know, like I know Disco doesn't play the game that often because he's, you know, it's something you work on. You're not playing it all the time.
Mhm.
And so it was fun to see him in the game trying to, you know, trying to do stuff. And we're playing it every day and like, you know, he's so it was more fun to see him experience it and go through. Then we, you know, see the bugs and everything, but it's that was all right. It was fun. We did the Twitch mission. That's right. I forgot all
Yeah.
about that. Yeah,
Uh,
Devs and Jared. Yeah, Devs playing is like they're too busy making it, man. And when you're making something, you're probably not wanting to play it all the time, you know, because you and not only that, but they're playing like they're literally working on versions probably we don't even, you know, they're working on stuff we don't even know about. So they're going back and seeing like the old version. It's like us going back. It's like what am I saying? It's like playing going back and playing Super Mario Brothers after you've played, you know, the current gen, you know, almost like, oh yeah, we fixed that. It's just a reminder of the bugs they fixed. I'm sure they don't like to go back and play the live and the PTU too often.
well, we all have our roles, that's for sure,
Yeah,
saying this. Tell
yeah.
me about the chair gang, Mr.
Sure,
Show and
gang.
Tell.
That's funny. That's what we call actually the co-pilots are everybody, all the followers. Co-pilots are the part of that's the community, and then the chair gang are part. They're subs. The subs became the chair gang. That actually came from when I was streaming DCS World. A buddy of mine, streaming buddy of mine, Black Magic, uh, Black Magic 2 underscores on his name. After that, Black Magic 2 underscores. Anyway, we were playing DCS World, and anyway, he came into my stream, and it was all because of the chair. The chair that I had, I customized my DX Racer, and I have my joysticks attached to the chair. And he came in wanting to know how I did it, and he wanted to replicate it, and he ended up doing that. He replicated it for his chair, and so he said, "Now, you know, I'm now part of the chair gang." And so that just kind of stuck. And so every time he would come in the chat, he'd say, "Chair gang," and like, and it just kind of stuck. And so we just started welcoming other people to the chair gang, and next thing you know, that's how the chair gang got started.
Mm.
And
Well, it's doing pretty good. I was reading through it, and yeah, you got a lot of big players on there, so
chair gang,
got a
yeah.
heck of a
So
gang.
yeah, so we just it's just part of the stream and part of the community, and everybody's welcome, you know. And eventually, you know, we'll do more stuff with it. We've been doing a lot of group. We've done more group events now with this free flight thing. This is kind of my first foray into doing big group events, and that's been taking down the Idris and Javelin and doing this kind of stuff. That's been really fun, and I look forward to these kinds of events. You know, either forming up with a bunch of people to do something, or you know, taking on either PvP or AI or even PvE stuff. It's really fun. So the bigger the game gets, the more of those group organization stuff I'll do
Yeah,
and bring into it. So, and it's just one of those things. It's going to be one of those things where, and I want everybody to feel welcome as long as they want to do what we're doing. Awesome, you're welcome to do it. And that's, you know, I don't want to. I want people to feel like they can. There's a lot of people out there who are. I don't want to say shy, but a lot of people out there who are solo players. But there's going to be things in this game where you're going to need people to back you up, or you're going to need people to get things accomplished. It's like any other game, any other MMO. You know, you have to team up with somebody. Well, I want people to understand they can come team up with us to do things and those kinds of things. So, and it doesn't have to be serious. You don't have to be like, you know, tattoo my name, you know, tattoo chair gang on your arm or anything like that.
not yet, anyways.
Yeah, no, I don't ever want it to be like that, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to be a fun, you know, group to hang out with, man. And yeah, there'll be serious people, you know, people take it to a certain level, but you know, I want people to also be able to feel free. They can casually come in and out and do stuff. So
So you're not related to Tom Hanks,
I
right?
am not related to Tom Hanks or Norm Macdonald. I'm not. We have had scientific, uh, we've had many scientists work on this, and they've done a lot of research and have proven I am not related to Tom Hanks or Norm Macdonald. Because some people say I sound like Norm and look like Tom Hanks and sound like Tom Hanks.
I get Adam Driver. That's who
Adam
people
Driver.
tell me I look like.
Yep.
Like at least once a day. It's crazy.
Gonna be a Sith Lord now. You're just,
I know, right?
yep.
And then, I wear a white jacket so people assume I'm evil, which I don't understand at all. But
Wait, White Jacket's evil? That's not true.
that's what people think. I don't get it.
No, it's always, you got to go back to like Star Wars, man. The guys in the black armor. Well, I guess the white armor. The
Yeah.
stormtroopers. Now that I think about it. All right, yeah, yep. I don't know.
um,
Maybe you look like you look like you're the evil Doctor Evil. I don't know.
yeah, that definitely happens too. Uh, you'd mentioned, or I overheard a conversation that you're working on some tutorials for participating in giveaways or some type
Oh
of
yeah,
instruction around that.
yeah.
How's
We
that
do.
coming along?
Yeah, it's great. It's already actually. I did the video. Now I have to do. I have to. So the way I do these things is I record them. I actually set up a huge green screen in my living room. It's still there. My wife's gonna kill me. She wants me to get out of there, and I just supposed to work on that this weekend, but I'm gonna be streaming. So anyway, maybe next week, maybe this weekend. I don't know. Anyway, I set up this big green screen, and I've been doing a lot of video footage because I want to add some new video stuff to the stream. One of them will be instructions on how to use our trophy system and how to enter the giveaways. And I've already done the way I do it. I already recorded the footage with audio, but the audio sucks because it's using a crappy mic. And then so now I have to go back in and use my good mic and overdub the audio, correctly, match my lips type stuff. And then also do the chroma keying because it's all done with green screen and add in the backgrounds and all that stuff. So I just have to do the audio and video editing portions of it, and then that'll be coming out. That'll be part of the stream. It'll be something I can trigger so I don't have to repeat myself so much.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea, by the way. When I heard about that, I like
Yeah.
brilliant. So
And also when people type in the commands in chat, like giveaway, it'll have a nice little help links to go look at the videos and how it works. There's also some other fun things that aren't giveaway related that are coming.
yeah, can you
That'll
give
be
us
part of the
a
stream.
scoop on that?
Uh,
Little scoop.
little scoop. One of them has to do with one of my newest emotes. The bear. This one.
That's my favorite emote, by the way.
Yeah, that's my wife's favorite now too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That the Care Bear emote is that is a whole outfit, and I did show it off on stream the other day, but there's more to that coming. There's a it'll pop up on stream once in a while, is what I can say. It'll show up.
Okay. Well, I think that seems like a perfect place to end it. Is there anything else that you wanted to plug or mention, or is there anything we might have missed?
Uh I I don't know, we're doing a huge thing. We've been doing a huge thing for Fleet Week the whole time. We're doing a ship giveaway a day, and tomorrow is Cutlass Blue Day, I think.
Cool.
And ending with a huge scoundrel pack giveaway on the second, on the end of Fleet Week. It ends with that.
Wow, I can't believe that you give away a ship a week. I know that also, like you talked about the whole giveaways and thing. I don't really get it. I mean, let
Yeah,
people do whatever they want. I'm so pro-choice, man.
yeah,
Just love it.
yeah. The
So,
well, I mean, yeah, we're doing Fleet Week. I wanted to do something special because of a whole bunch of new people coming in. So we're doing a ship a day. Today was we actually gave away a Mercury today, and yesterday was a Tana. The day before that was a Saber. Day before that was a Saber. And tomorrow is going to be at least a Cutlass Blue. And depending on what goes on sale, will depend what the next day is going to be or how many Cutlass Blues. We got a CIG sponsored one of the Cutlass Blues.
nice.
and so we want to give that away probably tomorrow, and I might throw another one in. So we have 2 winners, but, yeah, the Scoundrel pack is the big thing at the end, though. That's a huge, awesome pack. It's, comes with a Cutlass Black, Cutlass or comes with the Mercury, the Cutlass Black, the Cat, the Hawk, and a Drake Dragonfly, the game, Squadron 42, and 20K starting. That's, like, one of the best packs, I think, for the money, so very excited about that.
Cool. I'm excited too.
Yeah, we just had tremendous growth. The community's been awesome, supportive, so I just wanted to give something back, so give more back, and I put everything we bring in back into the stream, so we have some fun.
Yeah.
That's the whole key, as long as we're having fun and getting new people into the game. I love getting new people into the game.
I think, and like, I'm surprised that you don't have as many referrals. I'm surprised you don't have as many referrals as you do, but I think the prime gateway is through YouTube for that.
Yeah, yeah, I've always seen like, I have 100. I think I'm up to 100, so I got the last thing I opened up was a Blade, which I think was 100 referrals. But yeah, YouTube is huge on that, and I definitely have some. Everybody keeps bugging me to do, flight tutorials, like combat PvP and, my joysticks and tutorials like that, and I really wanna do that. The hard part is with that stuff is, like, my setup constantly changes with that. So, it's it's also been one of those things is getting the game stable,
Yeah.
enough to the game constantly changes every patch.
Yep.
So, like, build tutorials, not so much, but, uh, I finally got my replacement stick in so I can actually replace my grip that came defective. I'll replace that, and now I'm gonna do some tutorials on that. Plus, I've been setting up video equipment to do all this stuff. I usually don't. I usually go all in when I decide to do something. So I've gotten like, I just got in some more key lights in yesterday, and so I can easily set up shop in my living room if I have to, if I need more room to do stuff, and make it easier for me to capture video.
I gotta say, man, I distinctly remember when you started streaming.
Yeah.
Like, I think you started streaming like 3 or 4 months after me. It wasn't long after, but like the magnitude of impact that you created into the Star Citizen Twitch community, I've never seen anything like that before. And everyone was like, "You got to check this guy out. This guy is crazy." So I get what you do. I get it. It's crazy. It's good. You're
Yeah.
you're very inspiring, and I think that, listen, I think that everybody in the whole Twitch community up the bar, like, our everybody tried to do better after you joined. It's amazing. One person
That's
could do so much.
that's what's cool. I love that. I get a lot of I get a lot of DMs and stuff from people like, ask. I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of thanks, and I live for those things, and I love helping people out if I can, and so yeah, I love it, and I some people have always like, well, do you mind if I copy you? And I'm like, or copy this that you
Good
do or
luck.
this and that,
Good luck.
and I'm like, you know what? To me, it doesn't bother. If anything, it motivates me to come up with something more. Okay, fine. Well, you guys want to copy me? Okay, I'll come up with something more. And that's probably why I just got some new lights in today. But you know,
We're all excited.
yeah. And so yeah, I love it because as long as everybody's like feeding off each other, we're all having a good time. We all love the game and doing all that stuff. So and it's all about community. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, imitation sisters for exactly something like that. And just, you know, everything from the giveaway type of giveaway system to, voice commands and all that stuff. I love and lights and effects and all that stuff. I love seeing people try to, do their own take on it. I love that. That's great. And I'm constantly trying to improve too. So come up with something new. I got some cool stuff in the works. I can't wait. I just need the time to finish it.
Cool.
Time is a hard thing to find.
Yeah, we got so much on the go. So,
That's all right. It's good. It's the journey. All fun.
and I really want to thank you though for like, just helping me. You've supported my stream a lot,
Hey
honestly.
man,
So,
You're the best cargo pilot in the galaxy. I tell everybody that every time.
I think it's hilarious when you say trader though.
I say
It's
trader. I
like
feel so bad when I say
it's
that. Man.
it's just the way
You're
it
the
is.
best trader. Oh man,
Trader.
you're a traitor. Yeah, that just doesn't sound right. So yeah, no, best cargo pilot. Best cargo pilot in the verse.
Cool. Well, I'll do what I can to stop by tomorrow
Well,
if that goes down.
that's
So
about as bad as when I say we're gonna go find some miners. That sounds horrible.
yes.
You can't say I got now I'm saying, okay, fine. I gotta change it. We're gonna go find some rock hoppers. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're gonna go find some yeah, you can't say it. It doesn't sound right.
Go.
Arrest this man, exactly.
You're going to pick up some traders for the
Yeah.
miners to get
Yeah.
some drugs. That's
Oh
Star
man.
Citizen.
Oh. It's like my neighbor's listening to me. They're calling the cops. I don't know. He keeps yelling party all day long, and there's weird lights and noises coming from that room, and he's talking about miners and traders and hauling drugs. I don't know. There's a FBI surveillance van out in my parking lot. Yeah. So yeah, I love, and I don't get enough time to do it, but I love going around to other people's streams and hanging out, and I wish I had more time to do that too. But I have to go to bed early sometimes.
No, and like you do so much. You do like 40 plus hours a week. It's crazy. And I love your Lego stream, by the way.
Oh
Like that,
man.
I had so much fun on that stream. You have no idea.
Yep, and there's more of that coming after Fleet
Cool.
Week. After Fleet Week, we're gonna start. I've been wanting to start it, and I keep wanting to start it, but I know it's gonna take me several weekends, so I haven't started it until I know I have weekends free, and that's gonna be the UCS Millennium Falcon, which is huge. It's the biggest one it's bigger than the Star Destroyer that I did, so as far as pieces go, and I can't wait for that.
Stay tuned.
And you'll nerd out over the display I'm making for the Saturn V. That's gonna be part of the show. You'll like that.
Good.
It's gonna be the launch and landing of the lunar lander from start to finish, like a museum scene that people can trigger using currency in the chat. Is the
That's
plan.
cool. That's really next level stuff. You know that?
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be cool. I just gotta get her done.
Get her done. Yep.
Yep.
Uh,
Uh,
Thank you for that subscription. By the way, I don't know if that's like one of the first subscriptions we've had. Um, but I didn't want to hold you up too long because we're 7 minutes over right now.
yeah,
Um,
I'm a founder in this channel.
yeah.
Look at that.
Thank you so much though. His and her grow that subscription. But I feel like we should leave it on a high note though.
Sure.
Thank you so much for supporting everything that you do, and thanks for being such a great streamer, inspirational to the community. And Wally Crowther's 10. Does that say 10? Gifting 10 subscriptions. My goodness, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
Jeez.
Oh, Maddie got one. Henkin got one. Look at that.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you bet. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on. It was
Yeah.
good.
No, you're a cool guy. I have to have you on here again sometime. We could talk
Yeah,
more space stuff.
you bet. Anytime. And Legos. I'm all about it. Maybe
And
we'll have a Lego show and tell on the night crew.
that's a good idea. I like that. And I'll be back here again next week. I'm going to be talking with Board Gamer's going to come by. So
Oh, cool. Cool.
I hope you guys all have a fantastic week. And thanks again, Mr. Nerd Show and Tell.
Yes,
Take care,
you bet.
everybody.